All right, hello everybody, and welcome to episode number 29 of the PT Footy Podcast. With me here today, the usual cast, Kevin
Hey, what's up, everybody?
and Sam.
Hello, amigos.
All right. So we got a lot to talk about, things that I'm not really going to get into all that much. But let's start first with Porto, obviously, because Kevin is pressed for time today. So, two games to discuss related to Porto. Obviously, both games are from Taça da Liga. You tied Feirense 1-1. Marcano was the goal scorer. Uh, you played a different 11 from usual, so it was Jessa in goal, Maxi, Bali, Marcano, and Alex Teles. Ruben Neves and João Teixeira got a start. Brahimi and Coran on the wings, and Herrera behind the Poitre. What did you think of this game? I mean, you let it slip like late on.
Yeah, they did let it slip, but it was a good performance in the first half. They didn't play good in the first half. When they got to the goal, is when they kind of let off a little bit, and it was disappointing to see because had we won that game, we would have went through. So, well, most likely. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's disappointing that we didn't win, especially at home. Two games at home, we only scored one goal and conceded one. And between both games, we only managed a point with the first two games. The first being Blanash, obviously, and then this one with Fades. So disappointed,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just very frustrated with the performance after they scored the goal.
Yeah, you didn't really create any chances after you scored, and it had to be Marcano, nonetheless, to get you your goal.
Yeah, it was a nice goal too. It was a nice header. I thought it was a brilliant goal.
I thought it was weird to see him up there.
Yeah, me
I
too.
was
I
like, what the
was
hell is he
kind of
doing?
surprised that it was him.
I know, right? Like, what the hell is he doing? Um, but yeah, I agree with you. You don't want to touch upon the Herrera thing, like nothing, the handballs, whatever.
Oh, the
Well,
penalty?
that you think it's a penalty, yeah?
Yeah, of course it's a penalty. It
Okay.
was two guys that went up for the ball. One of them clearly took him out, and nobody got to the ball, but they took him down. So that should have clearly been a penalty. Thank you for reminding me because I forgot about that. There's been so many bullshit calls not called that I'm so confused and lost and forgot what happened, especially with what I just saw.
Yeah. Me and Sam don't agree, right? Sam, you saw the play. I don't know if you remember it. Kevin sent it over to you. You said it wasn't a penalty. Do you remember the play?
Yeah, I said I've seen it given before, but I didn't think it was.
There you go. 2-1 on that one. But let's move on to, I think, I believe the second game is way more important than the first one. At least when it comes to referee decisions, because to be honest, you should have against Feirense. Um, Yesterday you played Moreirense, lost 1-0. Um, Geraldes on one from Sporting scored a goal. I thought he had a very good game. But almost the same lineup, a little bit uh, more, I guess, close to the usual 11 you'd bring out. So it was Jessa, Maxi, Felipe Boli, and Alex Teles. But you did have the new Andre, Herrera, Oliver, Brahimi, and Poitre. What did you think of the game? Leave the officiating for the end of your opinion, if you don't mind.
Okay, so before I get started, I'm going to correct you. It was Moreirense plus the ref and his assistants versus Porto. That's first of all. Uh, it was it was an all right game. I mean, we came out looking for the goal. We had a couple of chances. The goalie from Moreirense miraculously made some huge saves. I mean, when he went when Moreirense went to Benfica, he was like letting in mad goals. What did it end up being, like 4 or 5 goals that he let in? Something like
What
that. I don't
the
even
goalie?
remember. Yeah, the goalie, Makarice.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
he
did
let in
you
like
guys?
4 or 5.
When?
When Benfica played Moreirense at home.
No,
You don't remember?
no. Like Benfica won. Like when we played Marinas, I thought it was like 2-0 or something like that,
I thought it was
and it
more than
was at
that.
Toulouse.
Yeah, it was
Dude,
at the Luge.
you want me to go? You want me
Yeah,
to go
please
check?
check that. Please check that.
I'll
Unless I
check.
have
I'll
bad memory here.
I'll check. Just give me a moment. It won't take long.
But anyway, while you go check that, he made some big saves. he was the difference in the first half for Moredense because we had a couple of chances. He saved them, big saves, huge saves, like reflex saves. I don't even know how the hell he pulled them off, but he did. We had that the Patra chance that went off the post. It was kind of like a wide open net. But to be fair, the ball was getting away from him, so
Hmm.
he didn't get the best of touches on it. But we had our chances, we just couldn't bury it. In the second half, it was a little bit. I think it was a little bit poor on Porto's end, knowing
Hmm.
what they had to do, and then they conceded the goal uh, early on in the second half. So they still had time to turn it around, but at that point it was difficult, especially with the way that the game was going.
They never looked. They never looked like turning it around. And it was 3-0, by the way. Although the last
All right,
goal
three.
was in the dying minutes on the 80th minute. Um, Sorry, I just said that I cut you off a little bit when I said that they didn't really look like scoring that much. The Plata didn't impress me at all, by the way. Again,
Nah,
but
he had that one goal against Braga, and that's all he's gonna give us. I think. I don't think he's gonna give us much more. It was disappointing to see. I was actually a little frustrated to see the Potter, but what can we really do? I would have rather played Rui Pedro, see what he can do. I know it
yeah,
was an important game, but the Potter hasn't been our shining star, so to speak. So Rui Pedro has shown up for us in a big moment. So has the Potter
yeah.
against Braga.
But then again, you think the Plata needs minutes, and if he's not getting them in the league, where is he gonna get them? So
Yeah,
I understand Nuno for playing him. I mean, it's not like
and I'm
it's
gonna
out of the
correct
blue.
myself. I said against the Patro of Braga, it was actually Chaves when he came in and he
Chaves.
scored the goal. That's what it was. Rui Pedro was with Braga, so
Hmm.
I would have rather seen Rui Pedro. I understand that the Patro needs minutes, but like I don't know who the hell even thought of buying this guy because when we bought him, I was like, who is he? And I remember the podcast.
Yeah.
I think it was yesterday. I was like, who the hell is this guy?
And I
So
told you that I felt like that 7 million was a lot for a player
what a
that has never
waste.
played in our league.
Yeah, and he's just an unproven player. Maybe in
Exactly.
the Belgium league, maybe he was proven there, but I mean, I've never heard of him, and I've heard of players who played on Belgian teams like Lukaku when he was younger, and you know,
Exactly. I
Tielemans,
actually
and
I was
those
talking
guys
about
like
that,
that.
and I was saying you've heard of Lukaku. You would hear about Batshuayi, like all the really good players you
Payet,
hear about.
Tielemans,
The Nobody really heard about the Plata,
never heard of him,
to
and
be
he's
honest.
what 28 or something like that,
Yeah,
29, I think. So,
about 28.
especially that much money for a player that age that hasn't had like a big track record or anything like that. So that it is frustrating to spend money where it could have been spent elsewhere for a different forward who could have made more of an impact as opposed to Depatra. And I kind of feel bad for bashing him, and us Porto fans are
Yeah,
really hard on him. But I mean, what the
you
hell,
you you
you
you
know?
have to think that you're a big club. You can't spend 7 million and not expect nothing out of him. You're a big club, so he's
Exactly.
gotta deal with it. Um,
Yeah.
all right. I also thought that I don't want to take anything away from Moreirense because I thought they had a really good game. They created their chances as well. They didn't really create many, but when they did, they attacked Porto, and Jessa had a big save right in the beginning of the game. Uh, so I don't want to take credit away from them, and I thought that it was worth mentioning. But all right, we're moving on to the big thing, the referee. All right, go ahead and bash the guy.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. We are the laughing stock right now. It's been headlines in other newspapers such as Oz and one of the English newspapers, and they all say that it's the most ridiculous ejection they've ever seen. I know you disagree, Peter. You're like pretty much the only one, but
I'll
like
talk about it. I'll talk about it,
it
and
was
I'll explain
ridiculous.
myself a little bit better.
You can say all day that Danilo could have moved out of the way, but he was looking at his
I still
teammate.
think so.
All right, but even if he didn't move out of the way, whose fault is it? It's the ref's fault. He should be looking
Do
around to see where he is.
do you want me to start by explaining myself and then you go on and rant? It'd be
Go ahead.
easier if I do that.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. So I don't think that what he did was a yellow card offense because I'm not really sure if he meant to do it or not, of course. What I think that set it off was something that probably happened that we never saw. During the game, you know how players are, and after that bad call, I'm sure that he directed some words at the ref. He might have been talking to a teammate, but the referee heard what he said before about him, and then he bumps into him and he's like, "This dude just ran into me on purpose," and then he probably just sent him off because of that. That's what I think. I have to give him the benefit of the doubt because of that. Although I see your point,
I'm not.
I'm just saying, and what he did. I mean, the league could remove the red card, like for sure. I don't care. But what he did, he should be banned for at least 3 games. But we know that's never gonna happen. So
Banned for 3 games for what?
he tried hitting the referee. He tried hitting
Bullshit,
the
Peter.
referee.
Go back and watch the replay. I've watched it a couple
Watch,
times. You didn't see the
Sam.
other angle.
Hold
I'm
up,
just telling you.
Sam.
Look,
After he got sent off, what
Oh
did he
my
do?
god.
Didn't he try and got close to the ref with his head?
yeah,
He went in his
he was
ear.
getting sent off anyway, but I don't think that helped his cause.
Sam, do you
I
think
think
that's worthy of a 3-match ban?
Not 3, maybe 1 or 2.
More than
These
one.
guys need to watch the other angle. There's another angle.
The way that he reacted, he should be at least banned for 2 games. I don't care. You don't do that. Just like Coates was like
But it's bullshit. He just
all
got
over the
ejected for
ref,
no reason.
like today.
You
It
got
might
to
have
think
been.
in a game, adrenaline's are high, and obviously Danilo didn't think it was a red card, so he's going to be aggressive. So
But you have to have limits. You have to understand when you're breaking those limits, right? Because one thing is like complaining to the ref. The other thing is going right into his face, putting your head next to his.
He went to go
That's
speak
how.
in his ear. There's another
Yeah,
angle.
sure.
You didn't see it. There's another angle where he goes into the referee's ear and he's pointing like at a
That's
play of something. I don't
yeah.
know what
That's
it was, but he
quite. That's
pointed to
quite
the side.
innocent of him. I just
It's
don't think
bullshit,
that's
dude.
true.
Like, he's sick of it. I'm sick of it too. We get screwed week in and week out. A clear penalty on Andre and nothing called. Like, when is it going to end? Like, the league should take the red card and apologize for us for all the bad calls that they missed against us. For us, I mean. Like, what the heck kind of BS is that? Seriously.
No
Like, when is
complaints
it
on
going
the
to end?
no complaints on the Brahimi red card, right?
No complaints on that. I agree with that 100%.
Okay. All right.
Late tackle. But
Just
that Andre one, that's a penalty. That's a clear penalty. He was holding on to him the whole time he was running into the box.
not the first one, right? Because people were talking about the first one, like
I'm talking about the one where he was getting grabbed by the arm.
yeah, no, I'm just saying that there was another one that people were making claims that he got taken down inside the box.
Herrera?
I don't know if no,
After
I'm
that?
pretty sure it was no before that. It was Andre.
Oh, I don't really recall. So
Yeah,
probably not
it wasn't
then.
a big deal. That's why I was asking you.
Yeah,
So
but for
people
me,
were
that
like, oh,
Andre one, that's a clear penalty. And had he called the penalty, doesn't mean it's going in. But if we had scored, that game would have ended a different way. And I'm so sick of this league with their rubbish refs. Who the hell is this guy? I never even heard of him before.
It's from Everett. I don't have no idea who he is.
Okay, and who's the guy who just refed the
The guy
Sporting
that
game?
just exactly. I don't know. It's from
And who was the
Portugal.
ref for the Benfica game?
We had a known ref. I can tell you that much.
Okay,
Who
why?
it was.
I'm not blaming Benfica. I'm saying, why is the league gonna assign a big, like a known referee to a Benfica game, but sends a shit ref to a Porto game, and sends a shit ref to a Sporting game?
Oh, it was
At the end of the game,
All right. It was Manuel Oliveira. That was on the Benfica game.
well, he still
And he
sucks,
still
but he's
messed
still
up.
known.
Yeah, and he still messed up. But yeah, he's
Yeah.
known. At least he's known.
Yeah, and going,
I get your point.
and I'm gonna be fair to every team because there was an offside not given against Benfica. That resulted in a goal, Peter. I didn't see the play. I just saw the
What?
screenshot from Sergio.
What, the Mitroglou one?
Whatever one it was,
Yeah.
the one that we saw this
Yeah,
morning that
it
Sergio
was
sent.
it was a goal. Yeah, it was a goal.
Okay, so that should have been waved off. And at the same time, I'm gonna say
And
like,
it was waved off. It was waved off. It was waved off.
oh, it's all right. I'm sorry. Then
It wasn't given as a goal. He scored, but it was disallowed.
Oh, all right. I thought that he had scored and then I didn't see it. I thought Sergio meant like
Yeah,
he scored and they kept it on. Okay. All
yeah,
right, I stand corrected then. All right, so good call. But now I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be fair to every club. There was a penalty that the referee missed, a clear penalty at that. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. The linesman is right there, and the defender from Vizela stepped on whoever it was. I don't even know who it was.
Zivkovic.
Zivkovic. stepped on his foot inside the box, and he went by the back foot where he kind of kicked up the turf a little bit. He saw that spot,
Hmm.
and that's where he figured it was. But it was clearly inside the box. Like, do these guys need contact lenses or glasses or something? Maybe they should bring the video technology because had they gone back, they would have called it a penalty.
I'm just not into that.
Well, I am. That's bullshit.
I'm
Sporting just
not
got
because
eliminated from the toss of the Liga for nothing.
which
Like, I
I
don't even like
think that
Sporting. That's bullshit.
if you had video ref, you probably would have stayed with the call. You would have
With the
stayed
video
with the
call? No
call.
way.
A hundred
No
percent, a
way.
hundred percent, a hundred
No way.
percent.
No way. I disagree.
I
Disagree.
guarantee you, he wouldn't
I guarantee
call.
you it wouldn't.
It
I
wouldn't,
guarantee you they
because
would change the call.
he'd see the arms behind the player's back, and he'd call it anyway.
Are you talking about the Zivkovic one?
No, I'm talking about the Stubble one.
I'm talking
The one
about
that,
Benfica still.
why the hell you? Okay,
I
I
was
thought
ta-
you
I
were
was
talking
touching. I
about
was talking
Sporting
about
because you were saying, "Oh, after
Zivkovic.
today," and I was telling you, that's all right. That
Okay,
one he would
I
have
meant the
changed.
Zivkovic one. The Zivkovic
Yeah,
one. You're gonna tell me that video ref
no, yeah,
wouldn't.
he would have. He would have. He would have.
Okay, and I think video ref still would have changed the Sporting call. If I was Sam, I'd be
No,
furious right now. He's so calm. He's over there quiet, but he must be fuming
because
deep down inside.
he's faking. How did Andre miss that open net?
Yeah, Ruiz
Twice.
2.0.
Twice.
But take that away though. Like even if he didn't score that, that penalty is what took Sporting out.
True.
Because if that penalty wasn't
Again,
called, it's over.
again though, like I don't want to be mean because it hasn't happened to us that we got eliminated or something. The only time the referee went against us, we ended up tying, but yeah, it wasn't a big deal. But I have to stand by my opinion that if you, in your case, Porto, won both of your games as you should have done, I don't think the Moreirense game would have been an issue.
All right, I get that, and I get your point because even if Belenenses had won, we wouldn't have made it, but they tied. And the point is, there was a penalty not called in both games against Feirense and against
but
Moreirense.
you're a better
But
team
it
than them.
doesn't matter. If I understand that, and I get what you're saying, and they should have had a better lineup.
Thank you.
Shorter should have started, and whatever else. Okay, I get that. But in the same token, had they given that penalty against Moreirense, you're gonna tell me if Porto had scored. I mean, we'll never know. But the chances
Of
are
course
of
not.
Porto losing that game or even drawing against Moreirense wouldn't have even existed because we would have controlled
Yeah,
the
but maybe
game.
think about it. Moreirense only needed 1 point though. So if they went up and
They
scored, it
did
would have
nothing
been
all
1-1.
game. They hit the counter all game because we had to press.
They had their chances. They had their chances.
Yeah,
Jessé
because it's a
made
counter.
at least 2 big saves.
Counter, all counter.
It doesn't matter. They still had their chances.
Okay, I get that, but I'm saying if Porto had scored, it would have been 1-0.
Yeah,
Porto
but
wouldn't
listen,
have been so high up and
but
would have then
listen,
sitting on the counter.
Benfica played Vizela, right? Second division side. Who starts up front? Mitroglou and Jonas with Pizzi. Who did Porto start against Feirense? That's all I'm saying. You could have started Andre Silva.
No,
Maybe
and I get
we would
that,
have
and I
won
get
it.
your point,
See,
and I agree with you.
like you need to, as the big club, when you get fucked, you need to be able to turn it around. I'm not saying it's going to happen all the time. For example, when it's like a last minute play like it happened in the Sporting game, you're fucked. But if it happens early on, well, to fight that, to fight those mistakes, because you are the bigger team, you are the better team, so you should be able to counter those mistakes. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
Mhm.
saying that. Uh, I'm not trying to take the blame off the referees. All I'm saying is that as the big club, you also need to be able to counter those things because those mistakes happen, whether they're done on purpose or not. I hope they're not done on purpose, but you need to be able to counter them anyway.
And I get your point, but I'm just saying the referee was atrocious. The Brahimi one, I can understand that, and
I
that
think
probably
that,
wouldn't even
yeah,
been a red in the first place because if Porto had got a penalty, been up 1-0, held on to that 1-0 lead, and
we
Danilo
don't know. We don't
probably
know
wouldn't
what
have got
would have
ejected.
happened.
Okay, but hear me out for a second. And Danilo probably wouldn't have got ejected. If that incident happened either way, then it would happen. I don't think that Brahimi would have got ejected. That was like a frustration foul. And the whole
Yeah,
Danilo
that was.
situation, that's a bunch of bullshit. That's just insane. I can't believe it. Like, people are actually laughing at the Portuguese league. Like, forget about being Porto. Other leagues, other countries, they have it on the front page of their newspaper. I've seen it, and it says the most ridiculous ejection they've ever seen in their lives,
But
and they're
exact,
laughing at the Portuguese league.
but Kevin, what did I tell you when you said, "Oh, that doesn't matter"? I'm talking about Porto. It has happened before. Like I told you with the Cardoso thing a couple of years ago when we won against Sporting 1-0, he punched the grass. It was like in the 88th minute. He punched the grass and he got sent off.
Okay, that's bullshit. Why does that have to
I
happen? Why
know
does that
that's
happen?
exactly what does that happen. That's exactly. I don't
Do these
know.
guys need to go get retrained? Does the league need to pay for them to
Yes,
go back to
I
school
don't
so they
think.
can get retrained?
What did I tell you when the mistakes started to happen? They're just bad.
Oh my
They're
god, it's like
bad.
they need to go to the Premier League. Wherever the refs from the Premier League go, like they need to send these Portuguese refs there. Like the English Premier League refs, like yeah, sometimes they miss a couple of calls. But Jesus Christ, man, nothing like this. I've never seen anything like it before.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. Pissed. I'm pissed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just think that they're bad, and you understand my point of view
And
in
it's for
that
all
is
three
that
clubs, from what I've saw between yesterday
exactly
and today.
we might. I think the only getting so fucked is because we're kind of playing well and we're scoring, so we don't notice those mistakes, because we're already winning most of the times.
Hmm.
When Porto started scoring like 4 or 5 goals a game, I told you that wasn't going to last, and,
I knew it
and it
wasn't gonna
hasn't,
last.
and it hasn't. And then you can see that those mistakes pile up because the team can't score, and when you can't score, those mistakes become more evident. But if Porto were winning like 3-0, and yeah, like they missed a penalty, you would be like, okay, they missed a penalty, they should have called it, but it doesn't matter because we won 3-0. And that's what happened with Benfica. We won 4-0 against Vizela. We had a penalty not called, and I'm like, okay, he didn't call a penalty, but we still won. That's
All
what you
right,
need to be able to do.
and I get that, and I agree with you. But like now we're gonna be out with one of our best midfielder. He is our best midfielder. I think he should be
Hmm.
captain of the club. I and we have a very tough game this weekend at Paç Ferreira,
Yeah.
and I know the league's not going to overturn it. And why? Why hasn't anybody come out and said, "Look, we made a mistake"? Are they going to come out and say they made a mistake with the Sporting one? Are they going to come out and say they made a mistake with Benfica on the penalty?
No, they're never going to do that. They're going to stay with whatever
But they're not going
they
to take away
believe in.
Danilo's red card because if they do, they're
No,
the ones that are going to look like morons. Like we made a mistake.
they're never going to do that ever. It doesn't matter
So why should we
what
have to
club it
miss
is.
out, miss our best player for no reason, especially away at Paç Ferreira? That's a tough club. They're a very good club. Like
Yeah.
now what? Now
Oh, yeah.
we could possibly drop
That's going to
points
be a
now
tough game. Yeah,
because of
that's
this.
definitely going to be a tough
Exactly.
game.
And we could possibly drop points. And why? Because our best midfielder wasn't there.
I
He
get
is
you.
a beast.
I get you. I also think so, and I told you way before that I also thought that he should be captain. But
Rahimi doesn't matter
again,
because he was going to be gone anyway.
Brahim, yeah, he's gone anyway. But yeah, I think there's not really much to say. I mean, you got my point. I understand what
Yeah.
you mean, but it's crucial for you guys to start winning is to score goals. That's basically what you need to do because once you start scoring, those mistakes will happen, but it won't be as costly.
Yeah, and it was different lineups. I don't know why. I understand Andres Silva's injured. You can't help that. Like I said, why didn't they give the
Andres
minutes to
Silva
Rui
is injured.
Pedro?
I didn't
Yeah.
even know that. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could have played Jota as a striker because he's a striker as well.
Exactly.
So
They could have played Rui Pedro and Jota up front as a pair.
or Rui
I would
Pedro
have.
and De Poitre or Jota and De Poitre. He's been playing with two strikers like the whole time.
Or even that. Jota, there's no reason why Jota doesn't start in the game where you have to win.
And
Like,
he
are you
even
showing
played
you really want to
Oliver.
win?
So he plays
Oliver played, yeah.
Oliver. And
He
why not
started.
play Jota then? What's the difference?
And why didn't Corona start
Players.
either?
Yeah, exactly.
Corona should have started. He should have put
And
the 11.
we're talking like Moreirense. We're not talking like any second division side. Moreirense are a decent team, well coached.
I know they are, but they should have went with the starting 11. I usually, Bully, from what I've seen, he's not even worth what we paid for him, and I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. So whatever. But why couldn't they put Felipe Marcano in defense? The starting 11. José
And he
Sá's
doesn't really
fine. He's
change
a
all
great
that much.
goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's very good.
So I think that, like I said, I think that he should play instead of Casillas, and I said this the start of the season. But anyway, if you have that starting 11, right, that you usually use for the league. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
André Silva injured, you can't play him. You could have subbed him with the Patra, with Jota, like you said,
Yeah.
up front, or even with Pedro. But, like, they should have had the mentality that this is a cup. Look, and I've
Yeah.
said this to you, Peter, already. You know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
Taça
Yeah.
de Liga is a cup. It's a trophy. It counts. You have to win it.
I want
It's
to
there
win
to
it.
win.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
designed for Porto, Benfica, or Sporting to win.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I told you a couple of seasons ago, Porto had the only thing that they could have won was Taça de Liga, and Benfica beat us. After the
Oh
game,
yeah.
and a lot of Porto fans said, whatever, it's a tin cup, it doesn't really matter. And I kind of like don't get that because before the game we were like, we have to win this. We're playing Benfica. This is Taça de Liga. If we win, we have a good chance of winning it. And it
Yeah.
didn't happen. And then all of a sudden, it's no good. It's either important or it's not. It's not important as Taça de Portugal. I get that, but it's
Of
still a
course
cup that
not.
you can win. It could be made of tin.
Yeah.
It could be made of glass. It could be made of plastic. If it's a cup that the league says it's going to have its importance, which it is gaining more importance, especially if they do give the European spot to other clubs if they
Yeah, which
win.
it looks likely
I hope
for
so
next
because
season.
it'll make it even more competitive.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, it's like the Supertaça. Like everybody's like, "Oh, it's the Supertaça. It's a preseason cup," and I'm like, "No, I want to win it. It's not the most
exactly,
important cup. If I lose it, I'm not really gonna be that annoyed. But I want to win it anyway. I want the
it's
team
like
to work
this.
hard to win it."
It's like this. Portugal's going to play this summer in the Confederations Cup. Oh,
Yeah,
we want to win the Confederations Cup. They didn't win that. It doesn't matter. It's only the Confederations Cup, but it doesn't really mean much. But it does, though. You know what I mean?
it
If it's a
does.
cup, and if you're going to say that it matters before the game, after the game, it has to matter too. And I'm
Yeah.
not like, oh my God, I'm so upset that we're out of the Taça de Liga, but like, I'm a
Well,
little
what
bit
means is
upset.
that
I'm
you're you're
disappointed.
you're 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 out of the Taça da Liga, you're out of the Taça
Taça
Portugal,
Portugal,
and all you got is the Campeonato and the league and the Champions League. And to be
which
honest,
ain't going to
Champions
happen.
League isn't the likely. Yeah, so and you're 4 points behind Benfica. So
I mean, that's doable, but are we going to have another field season? It's looking like it.
it looks
We
like
have
it.
to win the
Yeah.
league now. There's no other choice. Champions League, forget about it. Don't even try to even win the Champions League because it's not going to happen. There's just no way. I mean, try to make it to the next round. Obviously, it's going to be very, very tough with the Givenchy, but and get the extra cash. But like, it's not going to happen. We'll be lucky to even make it past Givenchy. Honestly, that's
Yeah.
just my opinion.
Yeah.
It's doable,
Hmm.
but I don't.
Yeah.
I find it
I get.
highly unlikely.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you just need to start putting more competitive starting lineups. Like the guy was on Sport TV was saying before the Sporting game started that JJ knew what he was getting into when he put this 11 because Stubble was a decent side, and you could see that for 5 minutes without Gelson and without Bastos, the game was practically all Stubble. Um, so it is what it is. I think we're on this Porto topic. Move on to
Yeah,
Sporting.
I'm done with it because I only have a few minutes left anyway. So if you want, I can do the rundown real quick.
Sure. And then you feel free to
Just
go
so
if
then
you
that way
want
you
to.
guys don't have to do it at the end in case you forget. Just give me one
All right.
second.
Nothing
Jeez.
really changed though. Just hold up. Actually, there isn't really much need to do on.
Oh wait, there is no rundown. What the hell? There was only Taça de Liga. There was no
Yeah,
second
exactly.
division games.
I'll talk about the test of the league once the podcast is almost over. Don't worry about it.
All right.
If you have to go, you feel free to go now.
No, I
Or
still
unless
have
you
it.
want to
I
hold.
still have a few minutes.
Okay.
I just want to remind that everybody. I don't know if anybody wants to wake up early on Sunday morning, but we'll have a big game in the Segunda Liga with Portimonense hosting Santa Clara, 6:15 a.m. Eastern time. I know a lot of you are probably going to say screw it,
Jeez.
especially with Portimonense most likely to
DVR.
win.
Just DVR
So,
it.
yeah, so I'll probably wake up early to watch it. So we'll
Other
see what
people
happens
might
there.
just DVR it.
Yeah, I mean,
Um.
Santa Clara's
mm,
14 points behind Portimonense in first, and Aves is ahead of Santa Clara by 10 points. So it goes to show you the importance of this match. If Santa Clara get anything less than a win and Aves win, it pretty much already is done and dusted.
Yeah.
But you know,
There's still a chance if you win.
yeah.
All right, but moving on to Sporting now. Uh, Sam, I didn't watch the second half of the Varzim game, but it doesn't really matter. I know you guys got it covered. Sporting beat Varzim 1-0, Gelson with that goal. You played a different 11 from usual. As obvious. Beto was in goals. Guy, Quach, Douglas, and Bruno Cesar, the left back. William and Adrian, Gelson, Campbell, Castanhos, and Bas Dost.
The game wasn't much to talk about. It was a 1-0 victory. We played decent. And I think what saved us is we played a rotated team, mostly in defence, but we still had the key players, Adrian. We had William, Bas Dost, and they all played pretty well. And Gelson's goal, I know we all have different opinions on the goal. I thought it was an absolute, well, not an absolute belter, but a really, really good goal by Gelson to fake
It
out the
was a nice
keeper.
goal.
And yeah, so not much to talk about that game, really.
I thought that there weren't really any chances by Verzin to score, so
It was a pretty boring game, in all honesty.
yeah, it reminded me sort of Benfica play when they played Pass. It was such a terrible game as well. But that's it. You won, and you had a chance of going through with a tie today against Setúbal. Obviously, the final score was 2-1. Venancio, the center back, is actually quite decent. Scored. Edinho scored the second. Elias scored for Sporting, which is not that common. The lineup was a little bit different, but not that much. Beto was in goal again. Guy, Quach, Douglas, and Jefferson. So Jefferson was in for Bruno Cesar. William and Elias. Obviously, Elias covering for Adrian, who was injured during the Verzin game. For Gelson, Campbell stayed in the lineup. Ruiz was in for Bas Dost as Castanhos took center stage. Yeah.
I was just going to say that is a rotated team. There's barely any first team players in there, bar William and Coates. But the thing I disagree with the Georgias here, that if he was going to play a rotated team, why did he not give Paulo Oliveira a chance instead of Coates or Douglas even? Because I feel like he is deserving of a chance if we are going to play a rotated team. Because I know a lot of people don't really like Paulo Oliveira, but I think he still deserves a chance to play for us. But yeah, so obviously the controversial call at the end, I'll leave. But the first goal, the defence was sleeping and from the corner. So were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say. See, Kevin is messaging me saying that he's about to go, and he wants to talk about the controversial call. So if you could just get that out of the way
What
first,
controversial call?
and then
So
controversial, bro. The last call of the game. Come on.
Oh, I already talked about that. It was bullshit. I wasn't going to talk about that. I just wanted to say one thing before I left.
Now?
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now because I'm about to leave. So yeah, Sam, that controversial call is not a controversy. It's bullshit. But anyway, highway robbery. Yeah. So I just wanted to thank Brian. I don't know if anybody saw. If everybody saw about Brian.
People probably missed it because it was during the Porto game, and yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so in case everybody didn't know, Brian left the podcast. Well, right now I guess it's permanent. I don't know, but the door's always open for him. I'm gonna miss him on here. He was funny. So best of luck to him and everything he's got going on. So that's all I wanted to say. And still got two great guys here, besides me, of course, with Peter and Sam. So we still got a great crew. we still got a great crew, but best of luck to Brian, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the show. And Peter and Sam will take care of everybody. These guys are good, so.
All right. We'll see you.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
All right.
So I believe I was at the first goal. Yeah. So from the corner, it was a really bad defending.
Yeah, because it was a weird one, right? He assisted himself, huh?
Pretty much hit the post, and then everyone just watched it and went back to him. I feel a bit sorry for Beto though, because he couldn't really do anything about that.
Yeah,
the defense should have helped him out. And then we've got the Sporting goal, like you said. Elias doesn't happen much. I've been very critical of him ever since he rejoined Sporting, but I have to say, it was a good turn by Elias and a good finish. So
Yeah, that Toast assist was
that does assist. Yeah,
Mitroglou-esque. Was
I've got to
just
say,
like
when Dost came on, he changed the game with the amount of passes he put through to Andre and to when he came on to
it's
Castaños and everyone.
obvious. It's obvious because he's got game rhythm. He's a much better player than Castaños, so he obviously changed the game. I think that he brings that stability. I'm gonna make the comparison to Mitroglou because they're quite similar in the way that they hold up the ball quite well,
Yeah,
and they're not just creating chances for themselves; they create chances for others. Just the way that he assisted. That was a great assist.
yeah, it was especially, and there was some to Andre as well, but I'll get into that in a bit because I don't want to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
that right now. So I have said on my personal Twitter account, which is at Sam Fonseca with 2 A's, if anyone cares to follow, that I think that the team that we played just wasn't good enough whatsoever. So I get he wanted to rotate it, but we should have rotated against Vizela and not against Setúbal because Setúbal are a much better team. And
Mhm.
I think the worst players on the night was Andre and Azagayo. Castaños was bad as well. The whole team was bad, but those are the
But
two that
Castaños, you can't even say that he's bad because he's never showed anything different.
true. It's just being
So
Castaños.
yeah, it just looks like it's up to norm. I mean, the only thing he's ever going to be remembered in is that, like I said in the Belenenses goal, where he pushes two defenders into him and Bas Lustre to score the goal. That's basically it. That's all he's done in half a
Yeah,
season.
and I think I was having this conversation with my dad that I think either we need to sign a new backup right back or that we need to develop one of the players in the B team because if you haven't heard, Joel Pereira's gone to Trabzonspor in Turkey,
Yeah,
which
Trabzonspor. Yeah.
which he didn't get a lot of first team appearances, but he was still a good backup to Scalotto when he got injured.
I think he started as many games as Schelotto, if you think
Oh,
about
really?
it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, if
true,
you
because of the injury. True. But still,
and
as a backup.
they rotated quite a bit. That's something that JJ took advantage when he had Silvio in his first year on loan with Benfica, was that Maxi
Yeah.
still played a lot more, but Silvio rotated, and I think that he did sort of the same, but a little more bit more even with João Pereira and Schelotto. So I think if you would have checked the stats, I think they'd have the same amount of games
Yeah, probably.
because João Pereira played in the Champions League, but then Schelotto also played in the Champions League. They both rotated in league games, so he was a big part of the team. Whether he played well or not is a different thing, but he played a lot of games.
Yeah, to me, he'll be missed, honestly, because as a guy performing today, it's just not sporting standard. And yeah, so who knows what's going to happen with our right back position. But also, the Joao Palhinha has been recalled from Belenenses as well. I thought maybe he would play today, but no, he didn't.
No, he didn't because he played yesterday. I
Oh, did he?
think. Don't quote me on this, but I saw it on Twitter because somebody was asking, like, is Pelinha playing? And somebody said, yeah, JJ said that he played today, yesterday. So he played. I think he played yesterday. I'm gonna
Oh,
go
okay.
quickly check just to make sure. But go ahead with your point.
I was going to say, obviously, Belenenses didn't want to end the loan early, so apparently in conversation we'd give Mateus Pereira for the rest of the
Oh
season on the
yeah,
loan,
I saw something like that. Yeah.
which I think is good for Mateus Pereira. But it's also good to have a defensive midfielder that's not Petrovic or Elias
Yeah.
coming back into the team, and hopefully Palhinha can come. Well, let's be honest, come off the bench and prove for a good quality player. And yeah, go on. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was, but just give me a moment because I was about to make a point, but I'm just getting into the lineups really quickly of that game.
Okay.
So just give me 1 second. João Palhinha, there you go. So João Palhinha started. I was gonna say that in my opinion, should have been recalled like way faster than Pedrinha because I thought that he had another big game against Porto, and he's been playing quite well and being consistent in the midfield. So that's what I was going to add. It doesn't seem like you lack quality in the midfield. The question is JJ going to take advantage of that?
Yeah, possibly. But on to Andre now, which is a big talking point. Because I remember we were doing the podcast on the day when JJ compared him to Liedson, and we all laughed about it. And we were right in saying that Jesus was crazy, because today it's just awful performance. Liedson would never missed any of those chances. And, I don't know why he's signing these players, Andre and Castaños, who obviously aren't quality, but he still continues to pick. Spalvis is coming back from his injury. Hopefully he can get a few minutes with the team. I would like to see what he's made of, because I know he did play in pre-season before the ACL injury, so hopefully he can go back to form. And then I know you've spoken about the Douglas penalty incident earlier, but I just thought it was absolutely shocking of the referee. And I always say the referee can't see every decision, can't make all the right calls at the time. But it's getting to a point where all the teams in the Liga NOS, that is just becoming unacceptable. And there's always a point that's made about the Portuguese league being with the top 5 instead of the French league. But with refereeing calls that we've had recently, there is no chance that we become a top 5 league in Europe. I'm not sure what you think on that, but that's just my opinion.
I agree, and Kevin was talking about the video ref a little bit earlier, and I am still against it. But until they implement a way to actually make it work, then I'll consider it. But even watching the replays, I'm not gonna say it's a penalty because I think it's very, 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 very harsh. Yeah. But I can see the contact, and if the referee called the penalty and then went to check the replays, I think he would have still called it because he does see the hand behind the player. Now, if that's enough, we'll never know. I think it's very harsh to give a penalty there.
I agree. So we're out of the Taça Liga, and I agree with Kevin that a trophy is a trophy, and I thought this was the one that we could win, so we wouldn't have a trophyless season. But now I think we're not going to win anything. In all honesty, hopefully they can prove me wrong.
You can still win the Taça de Portugal. At least you're in that. You're not out of
true.
that.
But it's not.
You
it's not like
play Chaves away though, so it isn't the easiest of games, and 8 points behind Benfica, right?
Yeah, 8.
So and
especially with the way we've been playing as well.
Since we got time, because I'm not really gonna dwell too much on Benfica, you're gonna have a difficult game. Because you're going to play Feirense and they haven't lost.
Yeah, true.
And, it's going to be a wounded team. Yeah, it's going to be a Alvalade. Yeah, but...
Yeah, they can take advantage of us, especially in our recent form.
I mean, I'm not going to say that they're going to win, that they're going to tie, but it could be a trap game. It could definitely be a trap game.
Yeah, I agree. And I think this team needs to sort out its problems now. Otherwise, honestly, we have trouble finishing in top 3 if we carry on the way we have. And we haven't finished outside the top 3 in, I believe, 4 or 5 years. So
since you finished 7th.
Yeah, don't remind me. So I just don't want that to happen, obviously.
Yeah.
We just need to turn it around. And hopefully in January you can get some good deals, get rid of the dead weight, free up some money, and hopefully sign some better players. Yeah, cap space, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's how they use in America. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Take that term. Why not? But listen, Benfica is be re-elected, and this is Kevin wanted us to talk about this again. He gets re-elected in March, or the elections are in March. If in March you've lost to Chaves, and you're still about 8, 7, 6 points behind Benfica, I'll even give you 5. Let's say 5 points behind Benfica. Does he get re-elected at the time?
It depends if we're in a Taça de Portugal, honestly.
That's what I said. If you're out of that, what do you think?
If we're out of it, I don't know, because even
as
then,
long as he has
5 or 6 points behind Benfica.
If he's 5 points behind Benfica,
Yeah.
out of everything else and has a viable opponent. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. But like I said before in the last podcast, as long as we get what's the word? President, that's the one. President who focuses on winning and on the club, not on Benfica, not on Porto, not on
The
Sharks,
refs.
on the refs. Yeah, just sporting. That's what I want it to be. Just primarily focused on sporting.
Yeah. So to answer whoever's question was, I think he's a bust if he doesn't win anything. That's it. I don't think he's gonna get reelected. I've said it like last week. Whoever you are, Kevin's friend, if you want to listen to this more in depth, we talked about it last week, like way more. It was heavily focused on that.
Also, I wouldn't really call
Yeah.
it a bust. Oh, like I know we haven't won the league under him,
If you don't
but
win a
a
title
bust
with him,
is a
but
bust is a strong word.
he won a Taça Portugal and a Supertaça in
Yeah.
4 years.
True, but then, like I said
And
before, he's
he
the one
made
that's got us out
made the
over.
push. Yeah, but he made the push with JJ. He's paying him 6 million a year to win a title, to win the league.
Okay, fair enough.
That's 2 years of paying him 12 million to finish with 0 titles, possibly.
True, but then again, it's all up to the supporters, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. That's a. I don't think that bust is a harsh word though, because of what I told you last week with the money that he made and then spent recklessly.
True.
Is stupid. But I mean that's really it. I want to quickly go through the Benfica games because there's some like transfer rumors, and I want you to weigh in on this so you help me out a little bit because.
Before you start on the Benfica
game, go right ahead.
Sporting Sol tweeted out earlier from a Spanish newspaper Marca that Beto would be signing with Osasuna within a couple of hours, apparently. Although he did start the game today, so who knows where he's gone.
I don't see it happening because where's Rui Patricio?
He's still injured, I think. Yeah.
Exactly, and you're not gonna start Asbe Young. For God's sakes, you're not gonna start Asbe Young. Yeah, he's bad.
But it depends what Beto wants, to be fair, because obviously Beto isn't fine with starting off the bench. So, I could see it happening, but I don't think it will as well.
I think it's a weird one if it happens because you're not going to have any backups for him.
True. Yeah.
It's just stupid because you lose João Pereira, you lose all sorts of backup at right back position because Scalotto's injured. And now you get rid of Beto and you have no backup for the goalkeeper position.
Yeah.
Sounds stupid to me. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's we'll see. It's silly season. And Neil actually asked the question, is everybody excited about silly season? Sort of, I guess. It's always interesting to see those names linked to you, but you want viable names, right? Something that you can believe.
Yeah, not like Van Persie or Podolski or Mario Gomez.
Or maybe Bacali to Porto, why not?
Memphis Depay to Porto.
Yeah. All right, but was that it? Was the Beto thing like the last rumor you saw? Anything else? I think you saw something to Brian Ruiz, but I don't think there's much consistency to that.
Yeah, I don't think there's. And no, there's two actually. There's Alan Ruiz to River Plate.
Oh yeah,
on a loan with an option to buy, I believe.
To where?
To River Plate.
All right.
I'm not sure if his brother is going with him to Kevin. And there's also Brian Ruiz to Trabzonspor, again, the same team as João Pereira, but that one doesn't have much consistency to it, so I doubt that will happen either.
Mm-hmm. All right. Just as I took a sip of water there, we're moving on then to Benfica because I think we're done. Yeah, we already talked Feirense anyway because you're gonna play Feirense, so there isn't really. I guess priority still stays a striker, and so that's it. Like there's not been much happening. I guess one last thing that I guess that we can talk about is why do you think that you're on a goal drought? Because you don't really score, and I don't mean like for like
Yeah, but
6
like
weeks, 7 weeks, but like
one goals a
yeah,
game.
1-2 goals a game. Why does that
I,
happen?
I don't know. I just think after we score, we just go into like we've already think we've won it. I guess so. We don't need the players' mentality is not to score more if
Hmm.
it's not needed, which is obviously a stupid mentality. But I don't know. That's the question you have to ask the manager and the players. Because as a fan, I couldn't answer that question. I don't think.
Yeah, I
What's
just
your
thought
opinion on it?
I don't really. It might just be that what you say the team just relaxes and doesn't really keep the foot on the gas, and then they ended up suffering the consequences because 1-0 is a very unsafe score line, just like when now game.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I told my dad. I turned to him and I said, "We're gonna hold on to a 1-0 win." And it ended up happening. So maybe the team just relaxes a little bit. Gelson's the only one that's really producing. That's also important.
yeah. Even when we
We
go
pass those.
2-0 up, I really don't. I'm not confident either. Because obviously it just takes one goal to get the game, but onto the pressure onto us. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you're missing something. I think you're missing maybe a second striker and another winger that can produce as much as Gelson. Just like
Gelson, yeah,
Sporting's games
because
back on TV.
Ruiz hasn't been on a good form since last season, since the end of last season. Joel Campbell, I mean, he's not doing the worst, but he's not doing great. Markovic is awful. Mateus Pereira doesn't get started, so
And
yeah,
Campbell is just
Campbell is a meh.
Campbell
He's
just goes
okay.
from hey, like this kid's actually decent to was he even on the pitch today?
Yeah,
You know
very
what I mean?
inconsistent. Yeah,
Yeah. So you need to fix that, especially because they're all loans, and you really need to figure out what's going to happen. You need to start having your own players.
I don't see them
Uh,
signing because I think Joel Campbell's the only one with the option to buy. Correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, maybe.
I,
No, Markovic doesn't have it.
yeah, I don't think we'll be signing Joel Campbell.
We'll see. I think you might need to sign though someone. I'm not saying him, but I think it's needed for you to get a.
Depends if Jelson leaves as well in the summer.
But then again, even with Gelson, you still don't really have anyone else. I mean, yeah, obviously, um, Campbell got the assist against Blanins, but that's really about it. He got a goal against Sondela and not really that much.
Yeah, but there's still players out on loan which could be useful to us next season. With Lurie Medeiros comes to mind as the main
That's
one.
it. That's it.
Yeah,
Dude, like I bashed Alex a lot because I was really into Paudians. It was terrible yesterday. He was terrible.
yeah,
So I don't see him making a case to return to Sporting if he keeps playing like that. So Yuri is probably number one guy coming back. Buy someone because thinking
yeah.
about your depth. What do you got? You got Gelson, Campbell, Markovic, Mateus. Uh, is that it?
Ruiz.
Yeah, Ruiz.
That's it. Andre, I think can play on the wing as well.
Though I don't think JJ sees him as a winger.
Probably not.
And two of them are on loan. One of them is declining quickly, so it leaves you with two players, and one of them doesn't even play,
Yeah.
which is Mateus.
There's
So it leaves you
also
with one
Ryan
viable
Gould as
option.
well coming back from a loan. Depends if we start playing him as well, but that's also unlikely.
Yeah, that one's decent player. Supposedly the Scottish Messi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe winger and striker for
And
January
maybe a
maybe.
backup right back as well.
Yeah. They were talking about the Rikishu guy. Yeah, I don't even know him to be honest with you, so I don't know how good he is.
Yeah, from the BT. I've heard that as
Yeah.
well. I've never seen him
Uh,
play, so I wouldn't know.
yeah, me neither. All right, now I'm just gonna move on to Benfica real quick. The Passos game, Ederson was in goal, Semedo, Luizão, Jardel, and André Almeida, Feza and Celis, Rafa Servi, terribly boring game. It was atrocious. It was like the worst football I've seen all year. I guess it's just because it's like after Christmas, so everybody's just like, why are we playing? You know,
Yeah.
and Benfica grab a goal early, and that was it. Like game over. Like Pass didn't do anything, so it was a boring game. The only bad thing coming out of that was that Raul got injured. Seemed to be a shoulder injury as well. We'll see what happens about that. But there's really not much to that. I mean, Salish played, but Salish and Feza, I think Salish is a defensive midfielder, so he didn't do bad. He did well, but I think that playing with two DMs wasn't the greatest of options. And that's about it. I think also Jardel looked solid. This is the second game of the Taça da Liga. Came up yesterday. Benfica won 4-0 against Vizela. Jonas scored twice. Mitroglou and Lisandro Lopes also scored. Ederson was in goal. André Almeida, Lisandro, Jardel, and Yuri Ribeiro once again playing for Benfica as a team, obviously. Samaris and Pizzi, Zivkovic, Carrilho, Jonas, and Mitroglou. A much more respectable lineup. A much more interesting game. It could have ended like 7-0, given to all the chances Benfica had. Jonas looked like his old self, very, very good. Or a lot again, even though people don't really think that he's as good as he was. Cough, Alex, cough. He's got to he's got to score a lot of goals. It's gonna help out Benfica. Zivkovic had a brilliant game with 3 assists, 3 very good assists as well, if I may add. Mitroglou scored, so that's good. Carrillo still seems out of it. He's like, whenever he has the ball, you see the skill, but he doesn't have the pace right now. He's just not blowing up. He did make a play where he goes past 3 players, and people are like, that's the Carrillo we want to see more often. But we still haven't seen enough from him. But Luis Piera gave out an interview, which looks very, very likely that he's not going to be given up upon from what he said. And Yuri had a good game as well. Another decent left that we got going around here. Make a save, by the way. Vizela had like 0 shots on target. I'm not even kidding. 0 shots.
Did they park the bus from kickoff?
Basically. And they never changed. They conceded, but they were like, well, let's just keep it as this. Keep damage limitation, basically.
Yeah.
It was a really weird one. But that was about it. Benfica 6 points. They needed 1 more point against Guimarães in Guimarães to go through and play Setúbal. All right. Rumors, because there's just an interesting one that just floated around. And this one, I'm going to say it's reliable because I'm not sure, Sam, if you know Di Marzio.
Yeah,
they tell
I do, yeah.
Okay. So he just said that Taarabt can be on his way out on a 2-year loan or 1.5-year loan, something like that, to Genova. Would be good for Benfica.
And depends if there's good nightclubs in Genoa, good for Taarabt as well. So
so we'll see what happens there. I think that's good for us to finally get rid of him. Even
honestly,
if we have to,
I don't
pay,
think it will happen though.
And it's Di Marzio. I'm gonna trust him. I'm going to trust him. We'll see what's going to happen. I think it's more like the only thing. I had the tweet here. Hold up, just a second. There you go. The thing that he's saying that he's not sure he's how much each club is going to pay the salary, like how much they're going to pay. That seems to be the only deal that's missing, like how much each club are going to give to the player. Yeah. So there you go. There's that rumor. If there's anything new on the Lindelof deal?
Not that I've seen. Actually, there was one thing I saw that I'm not sure if we're gonna get into this later, but Edison had his loan terminate. Not Edison, sorry. I've had a.
I was like, what?
Brain fade. Just one. got a recall back to Man United, apparently going in the way to Benfica in a deal with money and Lindelof going. I mean, money and Joel Pereira going for Lindelof.
Yeah, I got you. I still think that's gonna happen. I told my dad that I think that Joel is going to come to Benfica. It looks likely. Why would Manchester United recall him from his loan when he was playing? And let's be honest, he's never going to get any minutes with Sergio Romero and De Gea.
Yeah, true.
So I always see like they're trying to sweeten the deal maybe, or just lower the price. I think it's got to do with that. It definitely has to, because there's really no other point to recalling a player that's playing.
Yeah.
So, more rumors. Pedro Pereira, good name. Good name, bro. I appreciate that. Might join Benfica, Sampdoria right back, and Sampdoria just bought a right back today. So
I couldn't tell you what I think of him because I've never seen him play.
no, I'm just saying. What do you think? Like when there's rumors that a guy's going, and then you sign a player for his position. What
Well,
does that tell you?
he's probably on his way.
There you go. That's what I think as well. I think that deal's gonna be done as well. And we also talked about Seferovic like last week, and it looks doable as well. It looks like it's gonna happen. I think it was Tancredi Palmieri, whatever the Italian dude as well. The other, I don't know if you remember, if you know that other journalist that's on Twitter.
No, I know
Blocked.
Gianluca Di Marzio.
I got the guy blocked because he's really annoying, but he's like a verified account. He's a journalist. I just don't like him at all. But there was rumors, or that basically was a done deal for so Benfica. I was trying to figure out the tweet, so that's why I was. There you go. It's Tancredi Palmieri, whatever, dude. It's like in Italian. It's a beIN sports correspondent, CNN, Gazzetta dello Sport contributor. There you go. Okay. So he's another Italian journalist. So there you go. He's saying that he's going to join Benfica because supposedly like Genoa was interested in him.
Yeah.
So that's why he's talking about it. That money was a big deal on that. They lacked the money to get him. So I'm not sure how much he's gonna. Eintracht might lose 2 strikers in 6 months, but hopefully one of them is way better than the other. Or I'm gonna be very annoyed, hey? Obviously, Castanha's former teammate of Seferovic.
The best striker in Portugal at the moment. I think we can both agree.
Definitely. So it'd be funny though to see if they both square off against each other. We'll see. Sam, let's see if you understand like my point of view on this, because a lot of people are like, why are we doing this? And I sort of understand why, because Benfica right now, they got Jovic and Zé Gomes, right? A 17-year-old and a 19-year-old, both playing for the B team. And then you have Jonas, Mitroglou, and Raul. Jonas is about 33 years old. Mitroglou is like 29 and has market, and Raul has a lot of market, as you've seen the rumors like Liverpool on him and all that crap.
Yeah.
He's been scoring, so he might go. So when you have like 3 big name old strikers, not really Raul, but you know what I meant.
Yeah.
It would be smart to bring on someone young like Seferovic in January, even if he costs you money, because he gives them 6 months to acclimate. What do you think?
I agree with you, because obviously you're not sure that you can hold on to Raul and maybe even Mitroglou. So to have a young striker that's not Castaños, it's a good thing.
It's because it gives them time to acclimate to the club and to the league. So if you go, it's like Grimaldo, because Grimaldo played like about 3 games last season. But then he took over Eliseu when the season started. I think it could be the same process, is that you say, listen, Seferovic, if you play like 4 games, that's going to be a lot. But next season, you're going to be a big piece of this team. I think it would make sense. I think it makes sense from that point of view. If it's from any other point of view, I don't really see the point to that. Uh, there's what is it, like one more rumor that I can think of? It's Maximovic, Astana's midfielder. He might join Benfica. Uh, I think it was like David or somebody asked the Serbian foodie on Twitter if he was good. He said that he's basically kind of like Feza, but not as good defensively, obviously, because Feza is like one of a kind anyway. So Benfica trying to go for depth because they might sign a striker, they might sign a midfielder, they might sign a right back, and they just signed another left back. So they're going all in on this January transfer window with some easy money deals.
You better hope that midfielder doesn't turn into another Petrovic, or he'll be in trouble.
Oh god, that was just and it like cost you like 3 million as well, which is ridiculous. Crap, what was I gonna say? See, that's what you get. You put it and you're like, oh, Petrovic, and I'm just like, oh god, what was I gonna say? You make me forget things once you say his name. I go retarded as well. All right. What was it? I wasn't gonna talk about Hermes. I was gonna say something else, but Benfica signed Marcelo Hermes as well. Left back. Eliseu's out in July if he doesn't resign. So I think that's a smart business. Just have another left back. Exactly what I said with Seferovic. If it does happen, he's just going to get a feel for the team and a feel for the league, and next season he might play a part of it. Well, I was gonna say, so this is so annoying because I was gonna say something related to a transfer rumor that I just can't get. Oh, exactly. There we go. Finally, there we go. I was gonna say that on the Predator deal, that it's 2 million plus Juricic, which I think that it's really smart by Benfica because he's never going to succeed at the club, so they're just gonna give him away.
And he out on loan like the last couple of seasons as well.
Yeah, he's out on loan in there as well, so he's like in the club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he went out to Southampton, didn't work out. He went out to what was it? He went out to like 2 or 3 clubs, never worked out. First I thought it was JJ, and I still think it was JJ because whenever you say to a player that I don't need you, day one, I think that's like kind of ridiculous, but that's what he did. But he hasn't worked out with anybody else, so it certainly has to be an issue with him.
Yeah,
and it's good if Benfica just gets rid of him. Just like go do your thing. We'll take a player and whatever you want to do. I'm gonna quickly check and see if we got any questions. Let's see. I did just like your tweet saying goal Ilya to save the day. He just liked that.
Yeah, he didn't save the day, unfortunately. So
yeah, unfortunately not. I guess Neil said that how good does Ivkovic look? Wish he got more game time. He probably will now because Carrillo is dropping down in the pecking order. So we'll see what's going to happen there. I guess the only really last thing before I get into the groups of the League Cup, you've seen what I sent you, right? You and everybody else, the Georges thing. Just check Twitter.
Oh yeah,
I did. You saw that?
Yeah.
Not just him, but how it
was loads of them.
How do you react to that? Because I get the controversial decision. I get that it's like in the last minute of the game, but that is not what should have happened, right? What do you think about that? How do you think he could have pushed it?
As soon as the call was given, I think it was Coates and Jefferson started almost squaring up to the referee.
Yeah.
And then, so that obviously didn't set a good tone for what would happen after. And I think it's a bit stupid. I can understand to an extent why, but after the game, it's not going to change anything by shouting at the ref or. pushing the ref or squaring up
I
to
was
the ref.
actually expecting that he was gonna send off a couple of players because he did put his hand in his back pocket.
Yeah, but as soon as they scored the penalty, he just blew for full time.
Yeah,
That's also why I think
because
they got a bit
I think he
angry
had
as
to.
well.
But I think that he had to because I think it was gonna be too much commotion. I
Well,
mean I get it because it was called like 1 minute into added time and he gave 3, so he should have
Yeah.
given 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
But you can see why he did it, even though I don't really agree with it. Because the way that Coates approached him, to me, he didn't stop. Like he put his forehead against the referee's forehead, and he kept going at the ref. If that was me, I wouldn't have just given him a yellow. I would have given him a straight red because he wasn't stopping. Like he approached the referee in the way that you shouldn't do. Like one thing is you like talking to the ref, like he's right in front of you, but when you're touching the referee, I think that he put himself out there to get sent off as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw Beto as well. He was holding
right
players back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to
Yeah,
applaud Beto
and
for that.
I thought that the JJ comes into the pitch right after the game is over, pushes the player, and then turns to the referee, and I'm like, bro, you just pushed your players away from the ref, and now you're going at the ref, like really?
I was really confused because I didn't hear the full time whistle go. I was just like,
I did.
Why are they running onto the pitch? What's happened? But
Really?
yeah,
You didn't hear that?
I didn't know.
It was right after he scored. He just pulled for full time. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I get like they're upset, but like it's like a game. He's a human being, and you're pushing like 30 people into him. Like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I thought the police took a lot of time to actually go on the pitch. I never saw them, and they should have been there like ASAP because there was a lot of people going into the ref. It's just something that you don't really like to see because he's defenseless. Let's be honest. I mean, it's like 20 people on him, and he's just like.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in Portugal don't like the refs, but this is a bit too far.
Yeah, because you gotta think he's a human being, and you wouldn't like that to happen to you. Because let's say that you last minute you also make a mistake, think that you did the right thing, and then you just have like 20 something players and just come at you.
Yeah, even the players' reaction and the manager's reaction could start the fans off as well by running onto the pitch. Like I know probably it wouldn't happen, but there is still like they see everyone else get into a fight, and they obviously maybe had a bit too much to drink or whatever, and they start joining in. So
yeah,
I think it was bad by the players and the coaching staff.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that your point of view, and I think that's smart. Last thing before we go off, and before I talk about the League Cup, is like the channel in Portugal. It's basically asking people if Bruno Carvalho is the favorite to be re-elected, and 87% of people say no.
No, really.
So we'll see what's gonna happen though. It might just completely turn it around.
But that just might not be sporting fans voting. That could be Porto fans on that poll.
No, yeah, it's everybody. It's everybody voting, but still, feel for it. Basically, I think. Is there anything else that you want to touch upon since we're here?
No, nothing. No.
All right. I want to say Benfica is going to have a very difficult game on Saturday. And if Sporting wants to have any chance of getting back into the title race, they need to beat Feirense, or else I don't see how, because Benfica is going away to Guimarães, and Sporting need a win, basically. So
yeah, I agree.
Anything else less than that, I think they're done.
I agree, yeah.
All right. So for the League Cup, what we got is that we got Group A and B decided. Two will finish first, same points and same goal difference as Sporting, but they did field a younger side, which is a little bit funny since JJ doesn't really play young players.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite funny, but was the age, like the Sporting's age, and 25 was Setúbal's average age. Aroca 3 points, Eversing 3 points. That's how it finished. And the Group B, Moreirense 7 points, Belenenses 3 points, Varense 2 points, Porto 2 points. So Porto finished fourth in that group. Two groups still to be decided. Marítimo is first on Group C with 4 points. Braga is second with 3 points. Rio Ave is third with 3 points. And Covilhã is fourth with 1 point. The Group D is Benfica with 6 points, Guimarães with 4 points, Feirense with Paços Ferreira with 1 point, and Vizela with 0 points. Benfica needs a tie or a win in Guimarães to face off against Moreirense. Vitória de Setúbal will go up Marítimo, Braga, or Rio Ave. That's all to be decided next week. That's why next week's podcast is going to be on a Wednesday. So don't you guys forget to join in on a Wednesday where we're going to have games and all the group seedings and all that. Guys coming around as well. I think it's like in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sporting is going to go away to Chaves. Benfica is going to play at home against Leixões. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be nice to see. But until then, we'll be back next Wednesday. Like I said, with the group seedings, with the 2 Benfica games, 1 Sporting game, and 1 Porto game, and hopefully the whole squad. Hopefully Kevin doesn't have to go like he did today. I want to leave the last word to Brian. Thank you for being with us. Sad that you had to go, but it is what it is. The show must go on, and we'll continue doing this. If you want to be a guest in the podcast, doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you listen to this like time or even the first. You can tweet us at PTFootyPodcast. Just drop me a message. I'll talk to you, or just tweet at us. Big shout out to my man that I've never heard of, Elisio the man, that I had to follow on a pod account just because that beautiful ad. When I saw that ad, I'm like, I'm following you, man. So Elisio the man, if you're listening to this, shout out to you, bro. Sam, any last words?
Just hope everyone has a happy and healthy new year.